Sabrina. Who would like to go first? Who came first?
It's Sabrina's book, so she should go first.
Hmm, but she's not here.
She's not here.
Yasmin, you would like to go? Or I don't
I'll
know.
go. I'll go. I'll start it off. I'll start it
All right. Yeah.
off. Let's see. So in last week's meeting, we said that that I can't never remember people's names.
Athena or
Adina. I'm
Jen?
thinking Lillian because I finished the other book the other day.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
um,
Uh, this Jennifer?
what's
Jennifer?
the other?
Juniper.
Juniper. Jeez. I'm
Okay.
thinking of Lillian. Lillian is the other book, right? Isn't
Yeah, the
Lillian the other
the
book?
book before. Yeah, the before,
Yeah.
book before.
So last week we said that Jennifer is a sociopath, and I think it's pretty much confirmed now um, with her. You know how she treated, well, how she's handling the controversy. I mean, she handled it. She handled it like a typical sociopath would handle that controversy. Um, Very calculating. Um, um, so basically, everything that we said last week was confirmed. She's not a nice person. Um, there is elements of her white privilege in this book, and I think that's where her little circle. I think she has 3 or 4 people in that little circle groups that she talks to. I don't know if that's a. I don't know why in my mind I'm thinking that's like a WhatsApp group, but I know it's not a WhatsApp group. But it's whatever blog group or whatever she has in her little circle that pretty much. I think that it's all white women who basically, um, you know. And listen, don't get me wrong. It's good to have people, especially when you're stressed out, that's going to be on your team. I get that, but they're also promoting, the privilege, this element of privilege is in the book. Um, let's see what else. How she handled what's Athena's ex-boyfriend's name?
And let me see.
I gotta get
Chris
better with
Tucker.
names.
Sorry. Something like Chris Tucker. Hey,
No,
y'all.
Jeffrey Carlino.
Whatever.
Jeffrey
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 Carlin.
Carlino.
Jeffrey, yeah, Jeff, that's right, because he wanted to be called Jeffiano or some crazy Chinese name or something, right? But so this book has a lot of undertones, um, racial undertones that are just a reality. That we don't talk a lot about white men's fascination with Asian women. I think we that issue has been preached from chapters 8 to 15 with Jeffrey, and it's mentioned several other times. Um, in fact, she was accused of having yellow fever, right? I think they call it yellow fever, right? She's accused of having yellow fever, but because the internet's accusing her of playing YellowFace. So this book is actually deeper than the story, because it's hitting many really real points about there's a lot of sociopathic people out there. You know, um, race race, even though I believe there's no such thing as race, is groups. But groups or race, we call it, I'll say race because that's what we know it as. Race is a factor in the world that we live, and it will always be a factor. People see race, people see nationality, people see differences because that's how our brains work. Our brains are pattern seeking devices. It looks for patterns, and it will hamper on patterns. That's why we can um, we can identify faces easily because our brains need to do that to function properly, and it spills over into other aspects of our social interactions. So that's the other point. Not a good person. She's a sociopath. She basically handled Jeff like a rag doll. And it looks like she's about to. Well, she tells us that she is about to catch a bad one. And it was another point that I wanted to make about. Oh, I think also I had mentioned last week that she cannot be relied on as a narrator. And I think I put in the group because she kept on mentioning that she wrote that book. She wrote what's the name of the book? The Last Stance, or what was the name of
The
the book?
last front.
The Last Front. She didn't write the last. Well, she kind of wrote it, but she's convinced that she cannot be. She's not a reliable narrator because she has, she's basically representing herself. So we can't. I just want to just remind everyone that she cannot be relied on as a narrator. That's all the points I have.
Hello?
Did you hear me? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
okay, that's all I have.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I was
Sabrina. We were
Mr. Hassan was talking bad about you.
down.
Oh,
See?
he doesn't like the book. I know.
No,
See?
we're just joking. I'm
Yeah, we were missing
joking.
you. We're missing
I
you.
started it off.
We were thinking that who would start off because it was your book. So we're saying, okay, so Ray went first ahead. He was talking some points about the writer. I mean, not the writer, the character. Juniper.
Yes, June is
So,
convinced that this is her work and her baby.
mhm.
That was my last point, by the way. Remember,
Yeah.
we talked about. Remember, we said or I said last week that she can't be trusted as a narrator. She's not a trusted narrator, and so this round of reading confirms that she cannot be trusted as a narrator because at this point she is convinced that she wrote that book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll shut up now.
No, you don't have to shut up.
Oh, it's your book. Go ahead.
I'm reading Yasmin. I'm reading your comment. Um, yeah, she is doing. She's doing exactly that. That is what people do, right? We talked about that last week. How, um, a lot of things get stolen from people and credited to other people. It's just the way, and the internet has made it so much easier to do that. And here is a perfect example.
But
She,
what the color has to do with that stealing?
huh?
But what the color has to do with that stealing?
Oh, oh, Mr. Hassan. I,
Everything.
Mr. Hassan. You see, I'm gonna say like the kids say, you rage baiting.
Rage baiting.
Yes.
Thomas Edison, Mr. Hassan. Thomas Edison.
Um, I don't even know where to jump in. There's just so much. There's so much. It
Okay.
goes like on the surface, it's just like a book. But when you overthink and you create, well, not even overthink, but
Let
when
me
you look
let me
deeper
ask.
at exactly what Jasmine just said, it's not just the book, right? You start thinking of everything else, how things get stolen from people all the time, like especially black people. I'm gonna say it, how everything gets taken and credited to someone else. We can even take it out, even if we want to take it outside of just of everything and bring and be specific. Workplaces, right? Things get done all the time, and it may be your work, and someone else claims it as theirs, and it's just the way the world has become. And social media has made it easy for it to be that way.
Well,
But,
one of the
but
things I said before you got on the call was that the book is deeper than the story,
Yeah.
because the issue, not just the idea of Caucasians having this thing where they appropriate or misappropriate or steal, for lack of a better term, other people's work. But yellow fever is a real thing. Like, white men have yellow fever. That's why this fascination to going to Thailand and Japan and Asia. That's a real thing that was covered in the book. I think Jennifer was accused of having yellow fever.
Yeah.
Um, 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 so and yeah, so there's a lot of also, there's a lot of underlying issues, and we don't talk about, like, Asians don't talk a lot about their struggles in America's society. They just don't talk about it. I don't know if because Black folk, we kind of dominate that narrative, but Asians don't talk about it out loud. But if you get them one on one, I don't know if you ever talked to Asians in America one on one, like over a drink or over a lunch or whatever the case may be. They have some really strong opinions about white folks. Really strong opinions about white folks. Again, they're less likely to announce it to the world or to their organization or whatever, but they have some really strong opinions. It's pretty interesting.
I was going to ask Sabrina one thing to ease the thing up for you in terms of like how far you have read through this book, like until chapter 15 or all of the book or
No,
part of.
I'm a little behind. I was telling Dr. Mahasan, I'm at page 115.
Okay, all right. Okay. So it's all right. Like what I was thinking, maybe you were saying that I'm kind of lost, and I was thinking maybe I'm there your difficulty that you have read the whole book or something like that. Anyway, you go ahead with your points if you have. Otherwise, we'll help you out with other things so that
No, I
getting it.
let someone else go before me.
Okay, all right. Who would like to go next? Yasmin?
I have been listening to the audiobook, and I just realized that the book that I'm listening to is an abridged version. So I'm getting the gist of the story, but I may be missing some pieces that give like little nuances about what's happening. Because I was listening and I was looking at the same time, and I'm like, I can't find where I'm at in the book. I kept missing, and I'm like, I just realized I'm listening to an abridged version. But my point was what I had made in the comment. Like, this person, she is just stealing and taking credit for somebody else's work, and she's gonna get caught, and she's gonna lose all of her credibility.
What do you think about the points Ray raised about like her character as a Juniper? That she's a sociopath, like she doesn't have a heart, or I mean that kind of.
Yes, yes, because she has convinced herself that she has done no wrong, and she's still looking for ways to benefit from Athena's
Defend
work.
it, yeah, defend herself and benefit. Yeah,
Hmm.
and she's even
So,
going after who is like tracing out the trail. I mean, like she's trying to go after that.
she's trying to make herself seem oh so innocent, like I've
Mhm.
done no wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, lots
I
of
mean,
people do.
how she even used leveraging her sister's husband, right, her brother-in-law, to
Yes,
figure out who Jeffrey was. I mean, that's just sociopathic behavior.
yes,
Mhm.
Is it any different from what we expect? I mean, it's
No,
not like this isn't behavior that isn't, we can kind of figure this is what's going to come next, right? Because white women have been known to play the victim no matter where they are, right? And they are dangerous in in many cases. And I think, Dr. Ray, you were saying something about how Asians, they don't, publicly say how they feel, but about white people, or maybe in their circles. But could it be that they are silent because they're not trying to actually, in my opinion, and this is only for the people that I know, Asians that I know, they're not really trying to assimilate.
No, they're
Whereas
not try. They
maybe,
don't try to. They don't try
whereas
to.
other groups,
Well,
particularly
they
Black
have it. I don't know
Americans,
about now
right?
because I don't go out the way I used to, and I don't go out. I mean, I'm here actually, so I don't know if that culture has changed. But I know that when I was out, going to, happy hours. You never see with Asian people. Asian people went to happy hour in little Chinatown or little
That's
Korea
right.
town. They went to their own places. You wouldn't see them
Yeah.
really. I mean, you had some like Adina. You had some people like Adina that would, but they were kind of rare. The large
Yeah.
majority of Asians kind of do their own thing. They go to their own churches,
Yeah.
right? They have their own
Yeah.
Asian churches. And so I think they have taken a position over time. I don't know about in the UK, but I think they have taken position over time that we're just going to go to work, put our head down, and this is why they're the number one income earners in America today by a long shot. I mean, I think they're at like 90 something thousand per household,
Yeah,
and
the
Caucasians are
wealth
like
gap is really large, definitely.
really
Yeah.
large, extremely
But
large, because I think they just put their head down and say, you know what, we're not going to assimilate. We're going to assert. I think they're the true assertionists. They assert themselves into society.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I believe that.
because they
Yeah.
kept whatever their languages, the culture, part of the culture, they kept it as like that. You said Chinatown or Koreatown.
But
So they kept it.
having that kind of strong history means they figured it out before they got here. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yeah. They
their
didn't get that
families,
way that
they
they,
have figured that out before they got here. Like I
yeah,
listen to sometimes I listen to some of the Nigerian Americans that I know, and the Ghanaian Americans, Gambian Americans. They came for a purpose, right? And very few of them care about assimilating. They care about being successful. They care about, giving back to the communities in which they came from. They care about each one teach one. They reach back into their villages and they always pull one person up to bring them out. And they really don't care what the dominant culture thinks about them, right? Because they know why they know why they're there. They know why they're in America or in other places. Maybe people like Athena, that proximity to whiteness makes you forget, you know, who you are and what your purpose is. But I think that that's what makes them successful as a community and other communities like that, you know.
But
yeah.
the interesting
This
thing
is
is the interesting thing is we also finding out that people didn't like Athena too tough either.
Right, right. Even
well,
June
this
herself
is
really didn't like Athena, right? We
Oh
find
no,
out later from some incident that happened when they were in college, but we find out later that, she tolerated Athena, but
yeah.
everything about Athena she wanted for herself, right? So the opportunity came, and it goes back to last week's conversation. Do you think she just let Athena die on purpose?
Yeah, that's a thought.
Yeah.
not a
I
lot of
mean,
evidence at this point, but even
yeah.
she questions it. Even she
Mm.
questions it in chapter 12. I forgot. But
Yeah,
even
she
she's
says,
like,
did I try to administer CPR or whatever fast enough? Did I wait?
In the
Yeah, so
beginning,
did
in the
did she kind of
beginning,
look
she
at her and
wrote it.
like, let's see what happens. Let's see if you can
Yeah,
figure this out on your own, you know?
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
And
that's where that. Yeah, Rayburg, you were saying something.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying, pointing out the same point that that's why if there are people with the culture, that's where the importance of the culture comes in. That if you are binding with your culture, with your poetry, with your traditions, with whatever the belief system you have, the kind of social economic system you have. So if you bring in wherever you're going, like I'm talking about now, especially only Chinese at the moment. So like the African Americans probably they didn't bring that way, or that was like kind of crushed under the slavery that they went through and the kind of conditions they went through. So probably the Chinese, they as Dr. Mahasan said, that probably they know what their target is and they were prepared by their families, or they had the different circumstances than the other ones. So
Can I
that's
make a
what.
point of order?
Yeah, please.
Point of order. Point of order.
Go
Something
ahead.
ain't
Go ahead.
right here. Something ain't right here. Bridget hasn't said one word in 23 minutes.
Uh,
Something ain't right. Something you must not be feeling
she's
I
well,
not
think
Bridget.
saying
I think she's
the,
waiting
the
for the
good part.
kill. You know her.
I'm
She's
waiting
Yeah,
waiting
for
for
my
the kill.
turn.
She's waiting for
yeah.
the kill because I know that look is also. I got a lot to say on her mind.
But she has a bigger version of the book.
Yeah,
She
she
has
gets to see
digested the
things we
book.
don't get to see. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. She has taken notes on the side, I think. All right,
But I
we'll let her
have a
go.
question. Do we really do? Who do we think is behind this Athena ghost? You know, is it a website or is it just a
We know.
It's
They
a
tell
Twitter
us.
is
We
it
account.
is
found
it
out.
The
Jeffrey?
boy,
Is it Jeffrey?
Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's
Joffrey?
It's
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
the
Yes.
Okay.
boyfriend,
Yeah.
ex-boyfriend,
Yeah.
the trails is there. Yeah. Bridget,
Um,
you go ahead. So Ray is asking for you.
Yeah, it was Jeffrey, and Jeffrey, he was like he gave right into it. Like he was trying to pull her bluff, but she pulled his bluff, and I was just like, sounds like him and Athena went back and forth too, because to come out there and just play her ghost instead of just saying this, I don't know. I just ain't got I wouldn't even know what to do, like to even like trying to fake like I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing on my computer. Like, I don't want you to know it's me, so I'm gonna create this fake account. I know I wouldn't pull that off. They'd be like, "That's Bridget." Somebody would find me, no matter what name I made up to act like it's not me. I, I
Well,
don't
this
I
is what
don't know.
has
I
happened.
just
This is what has happened so far.
Yeah, it's what happened. So, but
Jeffrey.
at first the part about one part that I was thinking about was with June when she was on the campus and she got like raped. I would call it rape that happened with her and the guy or whatever. And just like how it like the night or two she tried to. First, I was like, is she normalizing that? But then I had wrote that down on the paper. But then she went on to say like how it bothered her, how it was a trauma thing or whatever. How her and Athena bonded initially because of that situation, right? Like Athena was by her side after she found out that she was raped on campus that time. So to me, that's a special. That's like if somebody share that with you, that experience with you, no matter what end of the stick they on, like as a friend, like wanting to help. To me, that is like even if you don't know how to classify to say that's a friend, that's a friend. Even though she may not feel like later on Athena really ain't my friend, Athena is this, Athena that. But to me, that says a lot for somebody to come to your side to do that. Because Athena, oh no, Athena went back and talked about it, right? That's right. Didn't Athena go back and talk about it like
Yeah,
on
remember she said she didn't like the way she responded to it later.
Yeah, she did. That's right. I forgot to write that part
And
down.
I
She
think
did.
she held that
but what are you
in like,
guys talking about?
okay,
Dina did what? Say that again.
because remember there's a part in there where Juniper got raped in university, or she thinks she got raped. She doesn't remember what happened, but she told Athena, and Athena didn't respond the way she felt she should have. And she kind of kept
But
that
I thought Dina was supportive.
She
for a minute,
was, but then she
but
went and
then she
wrote about it
told
as if then Athena went and wrote about it in the
in her
school thing,
book,
Full paper.
and she
Oh, the school paper.
and
she
she
Oh, the
was
exposed
school
her.
paper. That's right.
She
yeah,
The
exposed
short
her,
story. Yeah, yeah,
exposed the
yeah,
event. Yeah.
and the responses was June's responses to stuff, but it made it seem like Athena was the victim, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Or yeah, that was messed up, and then it can, and even to me, this
But but
I'm
I
gonna call this.
say again, you cannot rely on June as the narrator. You can't
We
rely
have no
on her.
other choice. Who else do we don't have no other choice but to rely on her?
So do we have to look at
Because
what we're not reading, what she's not saying, Dr. Ray?
Yeah,
because
what
at
she's
one
not
point
saying. Yeah.
at one point she's comforting her, right? and then writes the story about it, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't trust June as a narrator. Is she just leveraging this
Why? Because
story to
she
get?
keep adding in the parts that she forgot to tell. Like she said, "Oh, let me because this happened, because that happened." I still like the fact that she still will admit that she was wrong when she knows she's wrong. Though she does that as well, which I
But
like.
that
She
could be.
doesn't seem
She
But then
admits
she.
it to
But that's what
herself,
she's
but she
taking it
doesn't
back.
admit it to the world.
to herself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she
to
takes it
herself.
back.
To
So
us,
she'll
to
admit
us
that
to
she's
be.
wrong. But she'll admit that she's wrong, and then in the next sentence, she'll
She'll
kind of take it back.
justify it. Yeah.
She'll
Right.
justify it.
It's almost like, yeah, I took it, but I have a right to it. But I added my own experiences to it. So it really is mine, right?
Yeah,
And she
because
doesn't
she's a
stop.
bad person
She
anyway. So
continues to still, and she doesn't stop at all. She's ready to write another book that's not hers, you know? Because she didn't just steal the story.
I
Remember, she stole the
know.
notebook.
And that's what, so Ray, that's what you're saying. Like because she just didn't say in the beginning, I stole this, I stole that, this is what I'm gonna do. Now you saying, oh, you done stole something else you writing. So that's what makes her unreliable on that tip. He ain't even there.
She's unreliable because she's a sociopath, and she's telling this. She's telling the story. I think ultimately, I think some people, even though she's talking to herself, she's telling a story to convince herself that she's not a bad person. She has to convince herself that she's not a bad person, that ultimately everything that she's doing is justified. Even though she knows it's wrong, it's justified. I did this. It's like it goes back to that old classical thing in philosophy class where does the mother who goes out and robs a store for milk, is she justified in doing it? It's that old classic question, right? So I think that's what she's doing. She's playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants sympathy. You're right, Yasmin. She wants sympathy, even from herself. So even if she's writing that she's getting, because that's what a sociopath does, right? They can draw sympathy from their self, right? Even if they don't get it from other people.
Yeah, so I thought that was her scene, and I'm glad though she didn't normalize that. At first I thought she was normalizing that kind of culture, but it does bother her. Like as time and space passes by or whatever, her response is a little different, worrying about herself and her body. And those are the main things that actually that's one of the only things. Let me see some of the only thing I wrote down was with that. With that, yeah, that's all I have. But that's all I really have about the book. Although I am enjoy reading it, don't get me wrong, I am enjoying it, but
All right.
she really
So,
just
Dr.
explaining
Martin,
her breakdown. How she, going back into the story, how she, like you said, how she going about justifying her wrongdoings about the book each time she get, cause she don't know how to leave things alone. That's another thing. She like on her phone, she off her phone. This bothering her. Then she's saying everything is quiet, and she like, let me stir something up, cause it's too quiet. Nobody's talking about me. Like when that like dies down, it just gives you a glimpse into like how you like those industries like the Hollywood industry, the book writing industry, they like strong was if you know the right people, you good. But you always making deals with this person, even when they make the deal, sometimes it's like about 50 people already in line for a piece of their money, and sometimes still by the so if they say they making a lot of money selling the books, then that book is really selling good considering so many other people's eating off that one book still, for the role that they play. So yeah. That's
all
that
right.
that's a mess. And I
So,
read a little further ahead, and I don't know where to stop at either. Read a little
all right.
further ahead.
All right.
Not too much.
So I
What
have a
do you mean by
question though.
little?
What do we think is his name Jeff or Jeff? Jeffrey, Jeff?
Jeffrey,
Probably
Jeffrey,
Jeff.
Jeffrey.
What do we think? Do you think he's after do you think he's after revenge? Do you think he really wants to protect Athena's
Wanting money.
He's after
okay.
money.
You think he's after
Extortion.
money?
All he wanted was money.
Okay.
Jeff is a male version of June.
You think?
Yeah, he was. Remember, he was a writer also.
Yeah, he was a writer also. It would have been nice if he had a copy. If he had a copy of June's manuscript, though, that would have been nice.
So
Maybe
It's like,
Who
both
says
of
he
them.
doesn't? Who says he
maybe
doesn't?
He
well,
said
he
he
vowed.
didn't.
He
Oh, he
Yeah, that's
said
what
he
I'm saying.
didn't. I
Maybe
missed that part.
She
maybe
played it. Yeah, she played them. She went to look. She went to ask to see if he had anything and realized he didn't have
Yeah.
anything. That's when she
Yeah.
stomped on him. That's when she
Yeah.
said, "Nah, you know what? Nah, I ain't doing nothing."
But I didn't like the way she was calling her bluff because it was like, although she was recording him or whatever, it was like she was playing along with it too for a minute to make herself seem guilty. I was like, why is she agreeing to that? Even if
Because
she
she
know
wanted to
that
set the trap. She wanted to
Mhm.
she
set the
did,
trap.
she said it, but she said it. This is what I mean. You set a trap. I don't know, something about that in undercover police work. It's like you set a trap with me falsely. Something about it. I don't like
So
the way.
entrapment. It was entrapment.
Yeah, the way she was
was-
admitting, like, yeah, you're right. I need to do this. I need to do that. Then at the end, like, no, you lying. I know you lying. And it was just like, why you just think say that from the door, Joker? Stop trying to, like she could have still said no, I didn't, and still let him go on. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And she could have still said no. She was making herself seem guilty, but she did make herself seem guilty for a while before
Because she's a
although she was.
sociopath.
But she needed the evidence. She needed him to admit that he was the one
Behind the
uh,
yeah.
behind the website.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that he didn't have any. And that he didn't have
It
any
didn't
evidence.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
he didn't have any evidence. Yeah,
Because
but
I think.
And he was
I
trying
think
to bribe her. She needed all of that.
personally, I think if she said that, if he said he had some evidence, she was probably really doing something strange for a change.
You think?
She was going to play him.
who,
She was going to play him either way. She was going to play him
say
either way.
who
Okay,
if
okay, okay, Dr.
This-
what are
Ray.
you saying that June was gonna play Jeff either way if Jeff had money?
No, if Jeff
Jeff
had
had
evidence,
evidence.
June would have got out of it some kind of way.
June would have got
No,
in it.
he would
No,
have.
I mean,
No, I mean, like he would.
She would have got in
He
it.
would have
Yeah,
benefit. Yeah, he would have benefited more. Like,
yeah,
he would have.
yeah.
He would have.
I
Like,
almost thought he really had
anyway,
something. I was like, dang,
let
do he really have
let's
something?
give
That
it to
would've-
Dr. Mahasan because I gave her turn to you. So I was
no, I'm
thinking Ray
fine. I
was.
think I'm happy like chiming in. I just had these questions and they're coming up in a discussion. So I think for me, I'm okay just, jumping in when I kind of hear something that kind of got to me in the reading. But I'm like Khadija, I'm like really enjoying the book as well. Um, I like, where is Athena's mother? Like
She
in
at
the last
home.
couple,
She's like kind
no,
of
I'm
a
saying in the
silent
last
in
couple of
this.
chapters, she was,
Yeah,
I really
like
thought the
she's
mother
not
was
in the
gonna
story.
like we were gonna see the mother kind of her role kind of open up and how she handled June later. But it's almost like the mother's kind of because of her grief, she's kind of really not doing anything, right?
And also
Um,
Athena,
I hope
also
she
I think the
Juniper
does.
mother's going to
scared her.
spring up.
Also Juniper scared her that if you hear something from
Yeah,
her,
she did.
that that you
Exposing
might
your daughter.
expose something of the family, something or about something. So
So maybe here we go dealing with the Asian tradition of, being mindful of what you do because it'll affect the entire family,
That's
right?
what I was
So
about to say. That's what Ray
bringing
said.
shame.
They keep their business to themselves and they don't want
Yeah.
anybody to know.
Don't bring any shame to the family. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
And
Ray,
for that
Yasmin
reason,
was
I'll go
about to
back.
say something.
I'll agree with Dr. Ray. Then for that reason, she definitely is a sociopath.
but then
Who does that?
it must be more to the parent story than Athena let off in the book. Because she said, what if there's more stuff in here about your personal past? Remember, she said that to Athena's mom, and Athena's mom
Her
said, that's
mother.
right, I better keep the books with me or something,
Yeah.
better not make them, public or whatever.
Yeah. Or give them away so
I
somebody
will
gets them out. Yeah.
I will
Yeah, so
Yasmin, you have to say something? All right. I would say some of my points that I had in my mind that, thank you, Sabrina. This is a wonderful book. And I have read some of the works of Confucius before about like how he was talking about the philosophy and some of the delicate points. So it touched on those borderlines that he's talking about those the writer. I mean, he's bringing in the Chinese kind of tradition or philosophy into it that basically how delicate the devil is from the real. So it can exist into any person, any color, any race. So that thing like, it's a very deep or higher level of thinking that he's bringing, and that devil is coming up and losing battle here and there when he's in that thing was in Juniper's mind, that he's sometimes believing, sometimes with the most of the time with the devil, sometimes he's feeling that I should have done this, I should have some of the thoughts, and there are uh, conducive circumstances that they are like letting the things go on that way, which would be probably which we expect that he would be exposed in the end somewhere. So, but that's the way of Rebecca's writing. I'm talking about the writing that she's bringing in that kind of thing. And also some of the things that popped into my mind that I was thinking, if if Juniper would not have brought this way, would uh, Jeffrey or somebody else, or it would never have surfaced that novel. So I don't know. In whatever the work he has done, and he is trying to basically, that's one of the things that we were talking in the beginning, that the color yellow is associated with the um, Chinese or Japanese people. They're that because of the fever or the other
Right, you want chicken.
other reasons. So um, so that's like that's a deep part of the thing, that how he's narrating the story, bringing the characters in the way that, but bringing the story and the kind of, how I would say that, the deep thinking it is bringing into as, and also Ray in the beginning he mentioned that the book is deeper rather than the writing itself of the book. It's a
Mhm.
deeper uh, subject, and I don't know, we as a book club dig everything deeper, or is it deeper itself? I don't know, but it is quite like we we hardly hear about the other races suffering as a minority in, I'm talking about the subcontinent, North America. So the countries there, which are like dominated by white race. So the other minorities, how they are punched or how they are being marginalized for different, um, unless they are like, there are some, I don't know how I would put it. There are some groups of people that they are controlling many things, but as a race, like as a Chinese or Korean, as they're originating from wherever they belong to, so they have suffered a lot as what I understand. I mean, lots of other um, people that who have migrated to America. So their suffering is a not a, how I would say, not one we should not be comparing, but there is a different level of suffering. Even I don't know, tomorrow you would maybe we will come across a book that would be describing something about Mexicans or some other nationalities that they are, although they are being like kind of assimilated into the society, but they have their own suffering. I mean, like you will see different working classes in different states, and so how it is. We normally don't come across that way. So these are a couple of points that I like one sentence that he wrote: "Reading could be an enjoyable experience." and that's, or even writing could be.
Mhm.
These are some of the things in my mind. Sabrina, you go ahead now. You have lots of points to talk about or answer some of the questions.
No, I'm still behind. And Mr. Hassan, Dr. Hassan, I like for me just jumping in when someone brings up a point. I like the discussion that way. And I'm behind. I'm only on page 115. I'm trying to read. That's why I've been quiet because I've been trying to read as we've been talking. But
Me
there was a lot of
myself,
spoilers thrown out.
I'm
Oh,
yeah, you can say that Jeffrey's name was not until like probably or 12 or something around
yeah,
that
because I was
point
still
that
thinking it was
that
the
we,
girl that got fired from the publishing company.
yeah. So so it's like yeah, there are. I still even didn't read the last chapter. I couldn't. Was super occupied. Like I just finished it in the last moments or last hour, whatever I reached up to, and so it's enjoyable overall.
It
So
was
what do you think
interesting how
about?
she couldn't pull herself away from all the negative comments. And she's like, I want to give a rebuttal. I want to
What?
give a rebuttal. But that
Yeah.
is
What do
how
you?
that's the world of
Yeah. Go
social
ahead.
media. It just pulls you.
Yeah.
I
What do you
think I
think if it
think
would have happened?
Duskovsky Duskovsky says that the guilty always want to speak. The
Mm-mm.
guilty always wants to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think
Or
it would
like
have happened
we would
if
say, a
the
hit dog
room,
gonna holler.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Hmm.
empty drums make more sound? We call
Yeah.
it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, but
And do you
I
think,
was saying,
actually, I do have a question. Do you think that at some point, remember when she called Brett, because I just read it like an hour ago, when she called Brett and she's like, do you see all the things they're saying about me online? And he was like, well, is it true? Do you think that he actually started questioning whether or not some of it was true?
He
because he
knows his
didn't
people.
know.
He knows his
They
people.
don't.
He,
He just don't want to be embarrassed as him being her
yeah,
publisher or
A
he
whatever.
wanted to be
publicist,
But they
yeah.
sure.
don't care.
He,
They could know something stolen. They know somebody's crook. Look, I'll just say Trump the president. They don't care. In some cases, people just don't care. Long as they can have proximity to the money.
hey, you have
But
to
that's
bring the
he did
politics
say
in.
that. You know, he did say that. He said, listen, he said it's gonna sell book, it's gonna sell more books.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a business.
At the end of the
Yep.
day, yeah.
Who get it out
Even
first? Who put it out
even
first?
especially if you would know that, especially the actresses at the end of their career, they try and create kind of those, how I would say, those scandals that they would make them popular, and those
Mhm.
I don't
scandals
think
they
they
are just,
create those scandals. I think they live those scandals, and that's a last ditch to kind of let the world know what kind of world they're in. But then again, like you said, they still make money, right?
yeah,
Trump
because when
used
they
to call. Y'all know Trump used to call into the newspaper and talk about how good he was doing and stuff. Y'all people do stuff like that.
yeah, the
They
reality is
make
on
up
one side.
names. His name was.
I'm talking about the general trend in the industry. When you see your graph going down, so how to be in the news, you create then your publisher or whoever is your producer or agent tells you, okay,
Creates a scandal
create
for
a
you.
stunt. Yeah,
Right.
create a
Bad news is
stunt or a
still
scandal
news.
for you. So then you keep you up for a couple of years more into the news and the media.
Or what they say, bad publicity is still publicity, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care. They don't care. So
In
for the
fact,
agents,
nowadays,
it's just like,
bad publicity is good publicity because
Mm-hmm.
you're more
They
likely to
just
get.
want numbers. They don't care about the facts. They just want numbers, right?
see, just like as we are discussing, that there is, I mean, if you want to dig out the truth, what is truth? So whatever is publicized or public, more people talk about it, is taken and considered as the right opinion, even if
Right.
it is wrong. So that's how people measure it. how many Twitter followers you would have, or how many Facebook followers you would have, or how many news followers on different channels and media you would have. So it's how you measure how many people behind you, how many people are supporting or behind you. So that's how they see that, and that's how the channels are rated. Different channels are rated based on that, and that's where even now the other part, it is not our subject, is that now the fake algorithms are created. Those people who they buy, and then they buy the bots, and then they create fake algorithms, and some of the agents either publicizing the book or movie or something, they create like a fake figure by using those bots and those kind of fake accounts, and they are created in thousands in quantities, and then they let the people believe. This is a science, basically, full science. That's how they manipulate people, that basically the wrong thing, whatever is the wrong personality or wrong people, they project a more positive image. This is the kind of, you can say, if you would have a couple of good agents behind Jennifer, she would be projected as an innocent angel.
Uh-huh.
Similar, just as an example. So these are nowadays, the media, that's how they call it. That's why the people are getting million and billionaires because of the social media. Who are the billionaires who are social media controllers?
Here-
Two more.
here- here's the reality. When you're a younger, especially younger white woman, people are gonna believe you. People are gonna have more sympathy. Um, look at this Clancy case. I think I mentioned it last week. Look at this Clancy case. You mean to tell me if this was any other group of people, black, Asian, whatever, everybody would be saying, hang this woman high. But because she is I don't know if she's young or middle aged, but she's a middle aged brunette white woman. There's a faction, a large faction of people who will support her. Only in they're not going to say we're supporting her because she's white. They're going to come up with other things to support her. But I'm telling you, a black woman would not get that level of support, regardless of the circumstances.
And that's another thing. That's media has nothing to do with that one. That's a kind of cultural inheritance that's dragging on, or that's still there from the last centuries. And what we were talking about, look at the media houses. Two I'm talking about now, the social media houses, two famous ones, Facebook and now Twitter. Who are the owners of that? Billionaires, and they made billionaires. They are the billionaires. So how they made it billionaires in just a couple of decades, less than a decade, you become a billionaire. I mean, look
Fake
around that.
numbers. Because
Algorithm,
a
who
lot of
pays
their
you?
accounts, when you
Let's say
find out,
you can pay if you have enough money, you can pay to Twitter and uh, do the algorithms. So you will become overnight popular writer or whatever you want to. So those people who are doing those kind of algorithmic, and they actually play with the innocent minds of the young also, because they don't know the reality. They just only um, take out snapshots of that positive figure, whatever you were doing, and then they project that, and out of they don't, so they build up a fake identity of what is not the normal person's real picture or the real character.
and then the truth still
Think,
gets silent on social media. It does. A lot of accounts are banned. A lot of
yeah,
us
and
stuff not
then the world
reposting.
behind it, and then they behave like Juniper is behaving. He's trying to go all over to I don't know he would go to the police as well or not, that they are going to all those channels and using those channels that they could support her or him. I'm talking about when
I
the
would
people in the media and the politics, they lie
I would
about
think
that.
if you need the police help and social media help to solve your problem or whatever, unless it's for their benefit, that you wouldn't get much help. Like if you
Money.
report something that's,
You just
everybody's stuff get reported differently, all of that stuff. Keywords, it depends. Yeah. My account get banned a lot. And I don't be talking that much crap. I don't be saying nothing like negative and derogatory. Mine's get banned for the truth. And that's really sad when the truth is silenced. That's even worse, I think.
That's always the
Well,
Yeah, I
case.
mean, like,
well, you live in a time now where people are saying that there's no such thing as the truth, right? There's
yeah,
no
that's what I was
empirical.
going to say. Yeah, there is no truth. So whatever people say, more people they say, that becomes a truth. So the truth is reality. The truth is relative rather than the
Relative.
reality itself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
relative.
in a fake, in an alternate reality, like they say, but not in my reality. Maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time.
I mean, like if just as an example, if there are more people who will say Earth is flat, so if there are more number of people will start saying that and then producing kind of snapshot of an a reality, so then people will start believing in that one.
Well, look at the what's going on in WNBA with the two former NBA basketball players. They're making, it's about the NBA, the WNBA is in a quagmire right now because they kind of got them. They don't want them to play because they know that these two guys it would just be a circus, right? But they also can't come out and say that um, they're not women. So they're kind of in the quagmire. So they just recently
I don't
said they
think they're
did.
not in the quagmire. I think that's just the lies on social media. Because I watch the games, but go ahead, I'm listening. I don't think
No,
they're in
I'm
the
talking about.
quagmire. They're clearly
I'm talking about
guys. They're clearly men. They're not even transgender men. They're just men stirring up trouble.
yeah, they're stirring up trouble. But the point that they're stirring up trouble, and they actually have to, the way the rules are written, they actually have to be heard because the rules are written in a certain way where they had. I mean, these guys can sue the WNBA if they don't let them play. Right now, they're not letting them play, but they can actually sue.
They're not gonna get. They're not. I don't think that they'll get anything. They are men. There is no rule
So
that say the
that's
man
the
can
point.
play in the
But
WNBA.
that's the point. The point, the reason why there's no empirical truth is there are going to be some people who say what? You can't say that they're not men, right? Because they said that they're men. So that's the quagmire. And we know these guys really don't want to play. They're
This
trying to
is
make
a
a point.
no. This is something that has no argument, and we're giving it too much air. It doesn't make
Right.
any
That's the
sense.
point. The point, that's
They
because that's the
wouldn't.
point
They
that
didn't
Mr.
even play
Hassan,
in the. They didn't even play in the NBA. Here they go want to play. That mean, well, they didn't
they
get a
did play
lot
in the
of.
NBA. No,
Well,
they
they didn't
former
get a
NBA.
lot of play. They weren't famous, and then here they
No,
go talking about they want to be in the
no,
W. So
they
they
had
don't
good
want to be.
careers. They
Well,
had good look. Listen, Bridget. They don't want to really play. They don't really want to
that's
play.
my point I'm making.
They're just trying to make a point. I'm not making a point
But they're not
whether
making a point for themselves.
my
They
argument
making a point being troublemakers of
my
America.
argument is my position is not whether they play or don't play. My position is this idea of no empirical truth, right? Because all they have to do is say I'm a woman, right? There's no
Here's
empirical
the
truth.
thing.
As you just said, it shouldn't be up to the debate. They're obviously men. However, in this day and age, they can say I'm a woman and it has to be heard.
Here's
Whereas
the
20
thing.
years ago, 20
This
years
past
ago,
year,
this would
this
be total nonsense, right? You wouldn't
here's the
even
thing.
give it
The
any
way they
prudence.
chopped up the first of all, the way they chopped up the WNBA, the way you have to watch it, the way you have to pay for streaming services to even watch games, the way all of them DraftKings, the way they do the commercials, the things, even between commercial, they won't even show a replay, and then they got all this stuff out. Would you bet over under? Did she make the basket? Didn't she make the basket? It's all a racket, and I think that they just trying to keep the trouble going with the NBA because new women just won a contract. Some of them barely just started making $1 million a year.
Well,
All the issues that their bodies had years later, childbirth, just woman stuff pounding the court. They don't even have health care for life, all the stuff. They just mad at the women. They just want an argument with the women because the woman wants something. They want a contract to some cloud fee, all of them. they all got together and they said, listen, all the women on the same side, we need more. We filling up stadiums, so forth and so on. So here they go, like they always do. Put something in here to just keep the distraction going. Them guys don't want to play.
Yeah, they don't want to play.
There aren't any transgender people in the WNBA, period. There just aren't any. It doesn't exist. It's not even a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm not making a point about the WNBA. I'm just making a point about no empirical truth.
Catabasis. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's being held as a modern classic in the making already. Rebecca Kwong, welcome. And again, let's talk about that. So you call it catabasis.
That's what I've been saying.
Okay, I've heard different things. It's an old, is it an old ancient Greek word?
Yes, so it's a word that refers to the hero's descent to the underworld, and you can take this literally, and I have taken it literally. My characters do go to hell, but you can also take it metaphorically as a story structure where the hero reaches a place where it seems like there's no hope left. Yes. They're at the worst of their worst. They're disgusted with themselves. They don't see a reason to move forward. And so I'm also interested in metaphorically what it takes to keep going with your life when it feels like there's no hope left and you don't want to keep living.
Okay, so these are big themes, and that's what you love. You feast on big themes and big ideas.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with them.
You're obsessed. How does one become obsessed with big themes? Where did this?
They put 100,000 people on one ark and gave me a bed on deck 943. No elevator.
Gotta get the upgraded version.
People fell every night. I climbed down.
No, I don't. What you call it? Subscribe to YouTube, so that's why it keeps popping up on my screen.
Was that RF? Was that the author?
Yes, that was the author I shared. That she was going to talk about something. If you want,
I'm glad that she was able to title the book YellowFace, and it didn't come up with somebody. Oh, I said that last week that somebody else wasn't able to use the title YellowFace. So like she's able to criticize the writers in the book because of her
at least with this book,
heritage.
It started off as kind of a light, silly romp.
But she ain't talking about our book. She's talking about one of her other
that
books. She's not talking
the
about
academy because I was in the first year of my PhD and I was poking fun at the social structure around me. But as I kept writing, it became clear that this was a vehicle for me to investigate some emotional turmoil that I hadn't really let myself linger on before. And some context here is my husband was diagnosed with a chronic illness in the first few months of our PhDs, and that was a really difficult time. I was deeply depressed, and I realized this is actually a book about mental illness and suicide and chronic illness. So as I kept writing, the themes kind of spilled, or they got out of my control, and I had to just follow them down the rabbit hole.
Isn't that sorry? Like it started off with like, this could be a jolly romp, satire on academia, and then it goes, oof, here we go. So you had planned one, and then clearly,
book, I think she has written two books, I think, or three.
Yeah, she wrote about 4 books or so, right?
Yeah, 4, is it? Could be.
I think in the book they have. Yep, the Poppy Board, the Dragon Republic, the Burning God, and then Babel. So that's 6, and then the Arcane History of the Oxford Translators Revolution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Ray has something to say.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if somebody could say she's misappropriating white women.
So we have to get to the end. Maybe that comes up as well.
Maybe. Interesting. Very interesting. I can't hear you, Dr. You're muted.
You're muted.
No, when you said that and when I saw the writer, I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's definitely a thought now. Yeah, okay.
It's going to mess up how you read the book now.
Yes, it definitely is going to now. Thank you, Dr. Ray. Yeah, it makes
that explains why all the stories always end like Muhammad Ali said. I wonder how the Tarzan get all the way in the jungle and he wound up being a white guy and all of these black folks around here living. But Tarzan, the ones swinging from
Muhammad
the trees.
Ali was saying, I was listening to Muhammad Ali's interview, and he was saying, "Look at Tarzan, that they created the Tarzan, and he's living in African jungle. He's a white guy, and how he's doing all these things and all the character around him. And he was saying all the angels and all the heaven and all what I'm saying. I told my mom, something is wrong. There's nothing. It's all white. It's all white.
All right, it's 9 o'clock, guys. I think we need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, we should be able to wrap up too with the book, right?
So, Ms. Hassan, are we going to start from chapter 15 next week? Since a lot of people
We will
haven't
finish
gotten
up.
there yet? Can we include it
No,
in the
it's only
reading?
1 or 2 chapter. Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
We can read
yeah.
that, but we can include that chapter, but we will finish the book next week.
Candace is in here. I just happened to be flipping, looking. I see Candace's name. Candace gonna get into it somewhere down here.
Okay.
Is it the same
Candace ain't
Candace
going
Owens or?
nowhere.
Leave the spoilers alone. We'll get there.
And also, I was just going to say, in the
And there's
last
a
book we
knife and
read
pepper
about,
spray involved too. Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
God,
God.
stop it. Stop it.
Oh,
Somebody's being
oh,
rich.
oh, oh,
Just
oh,
stop.
She is marketing it. She's just
You know she
marketing it.
like trouble. That girl, she
Yeah.
loves drama.
No, I was going to say something which when you were saying that the white people there, they are getting the white women, they would get the sympathy uh, point or the vote or the sympathy point part. So I was saying in the last book when we read about Lillian and what was the other name? The little
Lillian
girl,
and Madison.
Madison.
Madison. So Madison was in this kind of little bit of the way that she's now getting out talking about Juniper. So Juniper and Madison, they are like kind of looking alike, kind of same
I
class of.
think I mentioned that last week, but I finished reading that book yesterday because I had a couple more chapters to read. And I would say Madison, Lillian, and Juniper, they are very much alike, right? In many ways, they all three of them are alike.
Yes, they have
Many
many common traits.
That jealousy thing causes a lot of problems.
Oh, okay. So who is next week we will be wrapping up this book. Who is next in the book suggestions? Who is going to suggest the next book?
Sabrina, then who's in next rotation?
Yasmin, you did.
Is it me?
Last time
Is it me
was
already?
Flesh, Tender is the Flesh. No, Tender is the Flesh, and then we had another book by Sajid.
Did you
Mr.
pick a
Sajid,
book?
I think.
You picked a book, Mr. Asar?
I think I picked the book that the young guy, 13 years old guy, that was the British character in that
The
funny
diary
character,
book.
the diary, yeah.
Yeah.
13 and something, 13 and a quarter,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Huh?
So
Maybe
I
it's
guess
your
it is.
turn,
No,
Dr. Ray.
Yasmin. No, I
It is
picked the
my
God
turn.
of small things.
No,
I
it's
Is it
picked the
Yasmin's
God of
Yasmin's
turn.
turn?
Yasmin
Did you just
was,
pick a book?
you remember? Yasmin, what was your last book? I had somewhere written the order actually.
Yeah, I picked the God of small things. I was gonna
What was
say
your book?
Yasmin
What,
picked.
It
what was your book, Yasmin?
was that collection of small stories, I think. The
Oh,
interviews. I think that was my last
that
one.
was really a while back. That seemed like that
So
No,
was
it's
there
your
last
was,
it's your
summer.
turn.
Was it
No,
that one, or did I have another one after that?
No, did you pick Craigslist? Was that your book?
Yes, that's the
Picked
one.
that
Yeah,
too.
But that
Craigslist.
was a while back
that was a
because since
but
long
then,
time ago. That was
yeah,
a
since
long
then
but
time.
I
it's
think
my
after that,
second book. It's definitely
after that,
Yasmin's turn.
It's Yasmin's turn.
okay.
Did you have a book after the Craigslist book?
No.
I don't remember.
Me
Okay, we'll
either.
see. I'll look into
I
that
think it's
last book.
Somebody.
Yasmin's turn. If the Craigslist book was the last book, it's definitely Yasmin's turn.
Yeah,
But I
that's a
thought you had a
very
book.
long.
I thought you had a book after that.
I probably did, and I just can't remember. I'm sure I did.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know
Because
me and
you
Auntie.
know what happened? You know what happened? I
I
was
was gonna
just
say Tamara, but I
like
don't know what Tamara. And we read somebody called Old by Tamara recently.
That was that
Yeah, that was recent.
that was her second go round. So she has had
So it is
Two.
Yasmin. It got to be Yasmin, or either one of
Has
the
to be
people
you.
that's
It has
not
to be
want
you.
to chat as much, either like
Yeah. I was
Brother
going to
Sajid
say,
or Hanad or
actually,
somebody.
actually, when we read Tender is the Flesh, after that, everything became like a whiteboard, blank boards.
Mm.
And they eating
Mr.
people here. Y'all
Mr.
know they eating
Mr.
people.
Mr. Sajid had a book recently, didn't he? He had a book
Yeah,
recently, right?
he had that one, the Asian book about what was it?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a
About
good book.
the
It
Indian,
was a
the
good
Indian
book.
book. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
About the
Yeah, the
girl and the
Indian.
guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's your turn, Yasmin. Definitely, because I can't remember. Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely your turn.
Well, you got another
All
week
right.
to think about it.
Get a
Yeah, you
week.
have. That's what I was saying. That's why I'm
I
giving a
think I
week.
know which author I want to read. I just gotta choose a book.
Okay.
You gonna take off for
All
Obama's book list too?
I don't know what's on his list.
Okay, you
I
have a
mean, I
week to
peeped
think
at
about.
it.
Let's let her
All
give
right,
her some.
sounds good. We'll chat.
right.
Peoples.
All right,
All right,
everybody.
guys.
Have a good evening, a
So,
good day, and enjoy the rest of the week, everybody.
all
Okay.
right.
You
Y'all
too. Good
back
Happy
at
night,
work,
school.
Auntie?
everybody.
Happy
Auntie,
New
you
Year.
back at work too?
I've been
will.
back at work over a month.
You
Ray,
only
you
got a
said what?
2 week
Happy?
break.
Yeah.
Happy
I've been
New
back
Year.
to work
School
for a
year.
whole month now. Yeah.
Oh, you
New
don't feel
Thank
school
good.
year.
New
you.
school.
I
All
will
right,
catch up
see
on
y'all.
my chapters, and I'll be on
Well, we
target next week.
we finishing up now, right, with this book,
Yep.
right?
Sabrina, I couldn't hear you very well.
And I said I'm going to
Well, now
catch up on my
I want to see.
chapters.
I want to see who gets pepper sprayed. So I gotta finish the book.
Yeah, me too. I know, right?
Oh, see,
I'm
Bridget
like,
already put spice in the
I just
story.
happened to be saying how many pages, and when I looked at that page, that's what they was doing. I said, "Oh, Junk Dickle
See,
Candace name." I said, "What Candace doing?"
she
I
picked
said,
up the
"Candace."
juicy words, Candace, and then pepper spray and all that.
And
So you
knives.
can.
And knives. Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
knives, a Swiss Army knife. You know, you
Oh,
could do a lot with some of them ones. They got like 101 uses.
Yeah.
oh,
It's gonna be good.
oh.
All right, if
Bye,
it's too good, I'm
y'all.
gonna be like, don't read it, don't finish it if it's
All
spooky or
right,
something.
guys.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Have
We'll
a
see
good
you.
week,
Well,
everybody.
Assalamu
Good night,
alaikum.
everybody. Khadijah, have a good day.
See
All
ya.
right.